Buongiorno collectors. So if you look at my history back on April 28th, 2021, I did a 3D wheel swap here on this Hot Wheels Premium. And this is a Alfa Romeo 1750 GTA. And it's a wonderful casting by Hot Wheels. It's just the real rider wheels weren't 100% accurate. But the printing is great, the molding of the casting looks pretty good. There's a lot of detail going on for such a price. So I'm really happy with it, but it's just not 1/64 scale. So a little research told me that Kyosho made a variation called the GTAM, whereas the GTA was sold, I guess, between 1965 and 1969. The GTAM was available between 1969 and 1971. And it had some upgrades. It had a 2-liter engine making 240 horsepower. And the AM, there's two reasons, or two answers as to why it's called an AM on Wikipedia at least. One is Alessagio Maggiorato, which is Italian for increased bore, whereas the 1750 in the original car, it was now bored out to 2 liters. The other Italian interpretation would be Alleggerita Modificata, which is lightened modified. So, but I don't think this is actually lighter than the 1750, so I kind of believe it's more the increased bore, which is what it's saying was the GTAM. Okay, randomness, sorry. So here, if we look at the box here, 525 yen, so this is less than $6 in today's money. And if we look at the back here, if you want to pause, you can take a look at the other models and colors here. And this model is from 2012, and so it says here, mini car collection number 3. So we know there's the 2 other Alfa collections out there, so there's actually quite a lot of castings from Kyosho. My goal is to get one of each of their castings, because I really like Alfa Romeo. They're not as, popular as Ferrari and Lamborghini, but after that I would say they're the 3rd most popular or historic Italian racing car company. Alright, so here's some colorway choices. Yeah, I went with the red this time around, so there might be some paint rash on this model. It's pretty typical of Kyosho. Some statistics in Japanese. 1970 GTAM, yeah, okay, so maybe this casting is a 1970 version. Okay, so typical blister pack here. It's gonna come on this plastic base. Let's get rid of this, and I gotta unscrew it from the base here. So I mentioned, the lightness of the vehicle. The racing rules in 1971 at least increased the minimum weight by 20 kilograms. So the car actually has a whole steel body and some aluminum and plastic parts, but it didn't need to be super light like the original 1750 because it had to be heavier with the racing regulations. The internet's telling me around 40 of these GTAM variations were built by a company called Alta Delta and private workshops. Okay, so that's really all I have on the stats of the vehicle. So looking at the photograph, I'm getting a little closer. Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's all there. Right? The little bumps here, the lights, the bumps, the vents, that matches. A little silver trim in the middle, the silver around the headlights. Front view is there. If you look at the wheels here, they look relatively accurate as well. They're concave, they have the little holes. I guess the holes aren't big enough. That would be a criticism. Obviously these holes are much larger. So, okay. Let's try the rear view though and take a look-see. Alright. So the tail lights, it's pretty hard to focus on 2 different things at 2 different distances. It's kind of in between the 2 I'm focusing now, so I guess that's as good as I'm going to get it. But yeah, you got the little central silver thing there. I guess that's the logo. What I don't see, this fuel filler is here in the trunk, whereas that one is over there. But maybe they made changes along the way. I'm not sure what year this photograph is. But you got chrome around the windows and stuff. There's a little silver door handle. It looks pretty good. I mean, I think the shape of it looks pretty nice. Okay, so Let's get a better light angle here. Okay, so yeah, I think the wheels are the biggest flaw of this model. The holes are just too small, so that's too bad. But it is nice though, the tires are actually sunken in under the fenders. So that also means it's not going to roll. See, the tire is rubbing the fender. But I think it looks better. It looks more accurate. I'd rather have an accurate model than some that doesn't roll than something that looks goofy and does roll, right? So the panel gaps are alright. I mean, they're filled in with the red paint, which is off in the case there. But down here it looks okay. I'm trying to feel... there's a little bit of a bump, it seems, there at the door handle. Okay. So yeah, those headlights are great. You know, they're plastic. You can see depth to them. A little black in the back there, so it looks like a light bulb. The grille texture's okay. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a raised rib here for that chrome piece on the real car. Here's just painted. Oh well. Can't have everything, I guess, for less than $6. Yeah, this is nice though. A little extra black paint down there. And then the casting of the bottom looks okay. It's a plastic base on all these Kyoshos. Screwed together as well, so if you want to, paint the interior, do a wheel swap, that'd be nice and easy to do. And then a nice paint here on this little exhaust tip. So cool. Alright, looking at this side. Yeah. Oh, well, the mirror here is on this side. Okay. I don't know if it was an option to buy a second mirror back then. That actually happens a lot on old cars. Okay, so yeah, again, the gas cap there. It's a different location than the real car, or at least that photograph. But we got the logo on the back here. Let's see if it's legible at all. Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, you can see the red cross, and the snake is kind of missing though. But this looks nice, 1750 there. Wait a second. That should say 2 liters, right? That's interesting. The AM is supposed to be running a 2-liter engine, so I don't know why it would say 1750. Weird. Okay, well, anyways, the taillights look pretty great because they're plastic inserts, and they're inserted inside of a silver painted box. So it looks like chrome trim there. And then you got the little bumps here for, I'm guessing that's where the original bumper was attached. But being a race car, it's gone. This I don't know. Actually, I think this is a backup light. Yeah, looking at a photo of the real car. I see. So now, just to give credit to Kyosho, this photograph has the exhaust tip coming out the back. So this is definitely a different car than this one, where the exhaust tip is coming out the side. So I guess I'm okay with the way this model looks, because chances are this is modeled after a different vehicle. Okay. Alright, well, looking at the top view here, what I'm checking for is, paint rash, and it looks like a tiny bit is starting up. You can see tiny bubbles there, right? But it's not bad, actually. For a model from 2012, I've definitely seen worse in my Kyosho collection. So, yeah, it's a little bit on the trunk as well. So that's too bad. So, if you're gonna buy one of these and you don't like paint rash, you'd be better off maybe with the white version, because white, hides a lot of details better. But it just looks so much cooler, I think, to have a classic Alfa in red. And this particular one has got this cool snake logo on it, so that's why I bought this one. Here you'll see some raised and painted black wiper blades. But what's weird is there's no arm connecting the blade to the motor, right? These are just floating on the windshield. Where's this piece that goes here or there? So that's weird. I'm now noticing some ribbed detail here. No paint though, but that's okay. So the interior is typical Kyosho fashion. It's just black, so it's hard to see. Oh, but look, there's a roll cage. So you know what? Maybe it's worth it to take a flashlight on this one. Let's see what's happening. Okay, steering wheel. What about the seats here? There's some ribs there, horizontal ribs on the front seats. No headrests because it's an old car. Whiplash before Ralph Nader locked things down. Okay, yeah. That roll cage. Yeah, it's hanging a little low. It kind of has to because it has molded windows, so there's a piece of clear plastic riding against the roof, and so that roll cage has to be below the thickness of that plastic. But it's nice to see that they did it. Alright, it's not the best roll cage, not remotely close, but it's at least, I guess it's there. So I don't know, maybe it'd be better without it. It wouldn't be accurate, but okay, well. Anyways, it's I'm pretty happy with it, I guess. I mean, it's not the best Kyosho I've seen because the wheels here. It's strange because Kyosho usually does a really good job with their wheels. But let's pull it up next to this Hot Wheels and really compare the differences in scale. You know, Hot Wheels is, they're designing around their wheel sets. They're not designing models and then designing wheels for their models. They're designing their wheels first and then designing the car around their wheels. So think about that. So that's why this Hot Wheels is absolutely huge. It's got to be like 155 scale or something like that. I forget. I think I may have measured it in my video back on April 28th, 2021, if you want to really look into it. But yeah, so now I know that the Kyosho, you know, it's going to be more accurate. And the Hot Wheels is a great model still, especially for the price. It's just that if you care about scale, it's not going to be for you. Okay, so I guess that's it. I'll let that spin on its own. So yeah, I'm really happy I got this in the collection. This is one of my favorite Alphas. It just looks so mean. I mean, look at the photo of that. That's a mean looking car. I would love to drive that thing. If I won the Powerball, I'd probably have to get one of these things. So, alright guys, well thanks for watching, and race on.